Have you ever sat down to finally do the thing, and suddenly you're thirsty, you're hungry, you should probably clean the whole kitchen? You find yourself scrolling, organizing, opening a calendar app you never use. The clock moves. The work doesn't. And you step into the night carrying that heavy, familiar weight. I didn't do it. Again. It's easy to name this laziness. It's easy to call yourself a procrastinator like it's your identity. But what if that delay, that looping fear, is not your enemy? What if it's a messenger, a part of you that is trying to protect something fragile and unfinished inside? According to Carl Jung, the psyche is not a machine. It is a living system that speaks in symbols. So when you resist, when you stall, your mind might be speaking in the strange language of the soul. Let's start with the ordinary scene. You have a deadline. Your chest tightens. You tell yourself, just start. But your hand won't move. It's as if you're standing before a locked door. You can see the handle. You can name the steps. But something in you refuses to turn it. Jung would ask, what stands on the other side of that door? What figure, what feeling, what memory are you not ready to meet? In Jung's view, procrastination is often a shadow ritual. The shadow is the collection of traits, fears, and desires we push out of sight to appear acceptable to others and to ourselves. When a task threatens to expose what we hide, the shadow pulls the brakes. It whispers, not yet, not safe, put it off. You tell yourself you'll do it when you feel ready, but readiness never arrives because the shadow's job is to keep you small enough to avoid humiliation, grief, or the embarrassment of being seen in your unfinished form. Think about the last time you delayed something that mattered. An application, a message, the first page of a book you dreamed of writing. What did the task demand of you? Not time, not just effort. It asked for exposure. It asked for entry into the unknown, and the unknown has teeth. So your psyche, like a protective parent, creates detours, busy detours, clever detours, detours disguised as productivity. If you never knock on the door, you can never be rejected by whoever's behind it. That's the trade. Safety with a side of slow suffocation. Jung would not shame you for this. He'd get curious. He would say, there is a complex here. A cluster of feelings and memories organized around a wound. Maybe you learned early that doing it wrong brings ridicule. Maybe success drew envy you didn't know how to carry. Maybe a caregiver praised you only when you were perfect, so anything less now feels like a threat to your worth. The complex is not rational, it's ancient. It moves faster than your plans. It throws the brakes before you consciously know it's happening. That's why you watch yourself stall like you're watching a stranger. Here's the paradox. Procrastination is not the opposite of ambition. It's the shadow of ambition. It follows your biggest dreams like a faithful dog. The greater the longing, the bigger the shadow that rises to guard the gates. The psyche knows that every real task is also a rite of passage. Finishing a project is not only finishing a project, it's becoming a person who could finish that project. And becoming anyone new means letting an old version of you die. The shadow knows we fear little deaths, so it delays them. So what do? Jung would invite you to stop fighting the delay like a guilty struggle and start treating it as a symbolic dream happening while you're awake. What is the image of your procrastination? If it were an animal, what would it be? A turtle, a fox, a heavy bear that sits on your chest. Name it. Draw it. Let your mind show you its shape. This is not childish. It is precise. The psyche responds to images more than arguments. When you see your stall as a symbol, you can speak to it. Try this. Sit for 2 minutes, eyes half closed. Picture the task as a doorway. Picture the part of you that won't step through. How old is it? What is it protecting? Now ask it out loud. What do you fear would happen if we begin? Then listen. You'll hear answers like, we'll be seen as a fraud. They'll laugh. We'll be ordinary. We'll succeed and people will expect more. We'll change and lose our place. None of this is irrational. It's mythic. And because it's mythic, it needs ritual, not just productivity hacks. Ritual means you give form to the formless, a container. Jung loved containers. If the task feels like an ocean, you don't conquer the ocean. You build a boat. Here's a simple boat. Tell yourself we are only going to sit with it for 5 sacred minutes. Not 5 hours, 5 minutes. Set a candle, make tea, mark a beginning. The psyche respects beginnings and endings. It calms when it senses edges. And in those 5 minutes, the rule is not to succeed. The rule is to be with it. Awkwardly, clumsily, like a first dance. Perfectionism loves to sit in the back seat and pretend it's driving. It says, if it won't be brilliant, don't do it. Jung would call perfectionism a mask the shadow wears to keep you from humiliation. The antidote is deliberate imperfection. Write the ugly first paragraph on purpose. Give yourself permission to do it wrong and watch how the body relaxes. A ritual I give people: open a blank page and type badly for 3 minutes. Not as a trick, as an offering. You are sacrificing the idol of perfection so the real work can breathe. Another figure that plays in procrastination is the trickster archetype, the part of us that bends rules and delights in chaos. The trickster disrupts plans not because he hates you, but because he knows dead plans suffocate living energy. If your routine kills your spirit, the trickster will sabotage it. He'd rather break your calendar than let your soul turn into a spreadsheet. So speak to him. Give the trickster a playground. For the first 10 minutes, let yourself make a mess. Brainstorm in crayons, work on the wrong section, start in the middle. Upside down is better than not at all. When the trickster has danced, he'll usually let the rest of you take the floor. Then there's a quieter, deeper conflict. The poor and the senex. The eternal youth and the wise elder within you. The poor wants freedom, novelty, wings. The senex wants structure, duty, roots. Procrastination often appears when the poor resents the plan and the senex resents the dream. No wonder you freeze. You're trying to fly and plant a tree at the same time. Jung would say, don't force a winner, integrate them. Promise the poor a taste of flight, novelty, play, inside the structure the senex insists on. That can be as simple as choosing a new place to work, using a beautiful pen, or setting a timer that turns work into a game. Sometimes your soul is not lazy. It's starving for beauty. And what about the fear of success? The one we pretend we don't have. Success threatens your belonging. If you grow, will your friends resent you? Will your family say you've changed? The shadow prefers the safety of the known tribe, so it drags its feet. Here, the practical move is not to shame the fear, but to prepare for the gain. Ask, if this goes well, what new responsibilities and visibility will arrive, and how will I protect my energy? Imagine not just the task, but the after. Create boundaries in advance. When the psyche senses you have a plan for the future self, it loosens its grip on the present. Sometimes the stall isn't fear, it's a message. The task lacks meaning. Jung would say the psyche withdraws energy from what violates the deeper direction of your life. If everything you do is for a result out there, but not for a meaning in here, your soul will refuse to supply fuel. So give the work a symbol. Ask, what larger story does this belong to? Who does it serve? What inner value does it honor? Truth, beauty, courage, mercy? Put a symbol of that value on your desk. A small stone, a card, a word written in your own hand. You're not just doing tasks, you're making a path. We also need to talk about the body. Procrastination isn't only in the mind. Sometimes you are stalled because your nervous system is stuck in freeze. You're not choosing to delay. Your body is holding its breath. So start with biology's simplest prayer. Breathe out longer than you breathe in. 6 breaths. Slow. Tell your body, we're safe now. Then move. Walk the room, shake the hands, change the posture. You're not weak, you're thawing. Jung never separated soul and body. He knew the psyche lives in your muscles too. Quick question before we go deeper. What's the one thing you keep delaying? And what do you sense it might be protecting you from? Share it in the comments. Your words might unlock someone else's door. And if this is helping, subscribe and tap like so we can keep exploring Jung together. Let me offer you a small practice of active imagination, Jung's method for speaking with the figures inside. Close your eyes and picture a table. You sit on one side. On the other site's your procrastination, whatever image it took. Maybe a fox with bright eyes, maybe a slow bear, maybe a weary child. Ask it, what do you need from me to let us begin? Wait, write what comes, don't judge it. You might hear, I need you to promise we won't work past midnight. I need you to say we can stop if we get overwhelmed. I need you to remember we're allowed to be new. Make a small, clear agreement, then keep it. Nothing builds trust with your inner world like kept promises. The next tool is a container for time. I call it the closing bell. Before you begin, name the moment you will stop and exactly what you will do to end. For 20 minutes, I will work with the door closed and music low. Then I will stand, ring a glass gently with a spoon, and step outside for air. That's it. The mind carries weight more easily when it knows the end. The shadow often fears endlessness, the task that won't let go. Give it edges, and it will go with you. Now let's meet the inner critic, the voice that predicts failure before you've even started. It says, this won't be good. People will notice the flaws. Jung might say, the critic is a counterfeit of the inner elder. It mimics wisdom but carries contempt. So we appoint a new elder. Write a brief letter from your future self, 5 years ahead, speaking with calm authority. Begin badly. I will fix it with you. You are not alone. Tape this near your workspace. Let a true elder replace the counterfeit. There's also the paradox of the first step. You think you need motivation to act, but Jung would say, energy follows meaning, and meaning often follows movement. So create a ritual of first touch. Don't aim to finish. Aim to touch the work daily. Put your hands on the instrument. Open the document. Read the first paragraph. 10 seconds counts. When you touch the work, you tell the psyche, this matters. Over time, the energy knows where to go. If you are delaying a conversation, a confession, or a decision, try this symbolic act. Speak the truth into the air when no one is there to hear it. Name what you fear to say. Let your body feel the sound. Then write the truth on paper. Fold it. Place it somewhere safe. You have moved the truth from the shadow into the world. The second time you speak it, it won't be the first time. Courage is often the memory of practice. Another trap. The endless plan. You plan to plan. You research the perfect method. Days pass. Jung warned about inflation, the swelling of the ego with fantasies of what we will do instead of what we are doing. The cure is humility in motion. Pick the smallest honest step. Do it before you explain it. Let action teach you the plan that research can't. Life is a laboratory, not a library. Dreams can help too. Before sleep, ask for a dream about the next step. Keep a pen by your bed. In the morning, write whatever you recall, even a fragment, a staircase, a river, a locked box. Amplify it. What do these images mean to you? Maybe the staircase says one step only. Maybe the river says, you need flow, not force. The psyche is generous when we ask it to speak. And yes, sometimes the truth is harder. You don't want to do this because it doesn't belong to you anymore. Procrastination can be a compass, pointing away. We confuse stamina with honor. But if a task was born from envy or fear, it will punish you when you try to raise it. Jung would ask, whose dream is this? If it isn't yours, let it go. Free the energy for the work that calls you by your real name. So how do we end the day differently? Start with 3 small vows. 1. I will begin with a ritual, however humble. Light breath, a word. 2. I will make one imperfect offering on purpose to break the idol of perfection. 3. I will give the work a meaning beyond outcome, a symbol, a value, a person I serve. These vows are not tricks. They are agreements with your soul. You are telling the shadow, the trickster, the poor, and the senex, you are all invited. We are in this together. No one is exiled. When the inner figures feel seen, they stop pulling you apart. The door that wouldn't open begins to turn. And if you fail tomorrow, welcome. Failure is one of the soul's favorite teachers. Jung said that the way is made by going, not by thinking about going, not by promising to go, by going. So you return, you light the candle. You breathe out longer. You touch the work. You speak with your fox, your bear, your child. You keep your small promises. You build a boat, and one day, without drama, you notice the tide carrying you farther than you thought you could go. This isn't about becoming efficient. It's about becoming whole. Your delays were not proof you're broken. They were the language of a mind trying to keep you safe until you could meet yourself more kindly. The task in front of you is an initiation. The door is not a punishment. It is a threshold. Cross it gently, cross it imperfectly, cross it with your whole self. And when you do, don't just finish your work. Let your work finish you into someone a little braver, a little truer, a little more alive.